Right, so Harrison, F1 season's wrapping up shortly, and we've just come from watching the Mexican Grand Prix and the Brazilian Grand Prix. Norris and Verstappen fighting each other to the very end, but I think Verstappen looks like he's going to be winning it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to be honest, unfortunately, I might have to agree with you. Verstappen, he's running away with it now, isn't he? Honestly, that Brazilian race was fantastic. Coming from 17th to 1st, it was amazing. But before we get into that, we've got to touch on the Mexican Grand Prix, haven't we? From that point of view, I was hoping that Norris, had a slight chance of winning the drivers' standing, but I don't think he will now. He finished second, and I felt like he could have done it, but after this Brazilian race, I think it's just lights out for Norris and McLaren. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I think before I give my opinions, I just want to get the viewers to give a little subscribe to the YouTube channel for more of these F1 takes and, of course, every other sport that we cover. But, Norris looked like, I don't know, he looked like he was going to catch up to Max. He wasn't that far behind, was he? I think it was 40-something points going into Mexico. And then, obviously, he finished second and Max kind of struggled that race. Arguably the worst race he's had this season, I think. And, Norris, he was doing a good job. He controlled the race quite well. And, obviously, the fight between him and Max and getting Max the 20-second penalty
I have to
helped him a lot on that.
I think that's the first compliment you've ever gave Lando Norris.
It's the only one he's going to get.
He's done quite well.
It's the only one he's going to get. I'm sorry.
Come on, he had a good race in Mexico. He raced very well. He drove very well. But it was just unfortunate because Sainz beat him to it and got the first position.
I think that's thoroughly deserved from Sainz though. Obviously he's a class driver. Leaving Ferrari at the end of the season, he deserved the one more win. I think having that win in Mexico is going to help him a lot with his chance at Williams.
Yeah.
And obviously a team in the future may scout him and think, he's pretty good. Let's have him for the future.
And also, it's his second win in a row for Ferrari, isn't it? Yeah,
they come out from America and won it again in Mexico.
Yeah, because didn't Leclerc win the first one in
Yeah, they did.
That was pretty decent.
It also saddened me to my core though, watching that.
Oh, come on.
Because that result has meant Ferrari have now beaten Red Bull in the standings. They're now ahead of us.
Come on. I'm so happy about that.
We are unfortunately third. McLaren's still running away with it. They probably have that constructors in the bag, let's be honest.
Yeah,
but that's good for them. Good for Piastri, obviously.
They do deserve it, don't they? Overall, with this season, McLaren have probably been the best team.
I think 3/4 of the season, yeah, because Max was winning majority of the races.
Yeah, but Max just carries Red Bull. What's happened to Perez?
Oh, don't get me started.
Perez is so weird, isn't he? He's honestly just such a weird driver. He crashes out so many times. He shouldn't be at Red Bull, should he, Matt? Come on now.
I will give Perez praise where it's due. He helped Max win his first championship, obviously defending in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but
he had a good second year at Red Bull as well. And then I don't know what happened. 23 season, he was kind of falling off. 24, I just don't know what's happened to him. He's gone back to being a Force India driver, that kind of quality. It just doesn't sit right with the Red Bull team. And obviously they need someone from that junior team at VCARB to come up and just take his place already. Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure I heard rumours that Perez is on the way out. So is there anybody else who could replace him maybe? Who are you looking as a replacement?
Well, I think we touched on it previous episode.
Yeah.
I think Lawson, if he's doing well at the end of this season, he can get a shot. But also, what's surprising me is Christian Horner has contacted, Franco Colapinto and Williams?
Yes,
because
I've seen
Colapinto is only here until the end of this season. Because Sainz is obviously taking his place in Williams next year. Red Bull are inquiring about having Colapinto join them, and I'm struggling to see how that would help us at all, having a rookie like him come in instantly.
Do you not think he's performing better than Perez, though? I would have to say
at the moment, yeah, but
yeah,
you can't base someone's performance on over the course of 3 or 4 races.
Oh, he's only had 4 races. I didn't realise that. I thought he had the whole season.
He came in for half the season after Sargent was gone.
Right, all right. Maybe you're right then. Maybe, but then again, it's either Colapinto or one of your junior drivers. So at least he's had 3 or 4 races in the sport.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously, having one of those junior drivers try and do well. I don't know what's going on with Yuki and Red Bull. We just seem allergic to Yuki at this point, and not promoting him at all. We're just not giving him a chance. Who knows the reason behind that? Maybe it's his attitude, something like that. Maybe having 2 really heated drivers like Max and Yuki in the same car just wouldn't work. Maybe Yuki just doesn't want to be a second place driver behind Max, but we just seem allergic to Yuki, you know, and having someone who could just be a second driver but consistently help us win constructors and get.
And didn't Perez, right, just to bring back to him quickly, didn't he get like a 5-second penalty at the start of the race?
Yeah, he jumped the line or something.
Yeah, come on. That's such a rookie move. If you're talking about, okay, yes, we shouldn't bring somebody who's inexperienced, Perez should surely understand how to, operate in those circumstances at the start of the race.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. He was also having, what was it? During the race, he kept fighting Lawson. Why are you fighting a Lawson? You're in 17th position, fighting someone who's also in last place, and you go on the radio and complain that, he's pushing me off, he's doing all this, that. You shouldn't be there in the first place, mate. Why are you fighting with your junior driver? I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I could not tell you the reason. But all I know is the Mexican Grand Prix was just Ferrari's race, wasn't it? Sainz won it. Leclerc did all right as well. And it's looking good for Ferrari. They're now obviously second or third in the drivers. Is it third? I'm pretty sure.
I think Leclerc is third at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could catch Norris. By the end of the season. Do you think he will?
It's not even that many points into it.
It's not that many.
I think it's only 40 or 50, maybe something like that. So it is quite close.
It should be interesting to see if he gets it. That would be the greatest thing ever if I see Norris lose to Leclerc in the championship this year. After fighting for first place, to bottle it at the end and get third, that would just be the cherry on top.
Your Lando Norris hate is just uncalled for. It honestly is. I know you're a hardcore Red Bull fan, but there's no need to hate this much.
Yeah, there is. Honestly, did you? Okay. We're going on from Mexico to Brazil.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just want to quickly say this before we continue with the Mexico stuff. Norris, at Brazil, after Max won from P17, he said that wasn't talent, it was pure luck.
Did he actually?
How are you going out publicly saying that Max has no talent? It was just luck.
In such a bad car as well for Red Bull this season.
He's been a tractor this year, and he's still done that, and Norris says no talent.
Yeah, that's a bit weird from Norris. I don't really.
And you wonder why I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's a bit. What's the word? Well, cocky. Yeah, don't really like that.
Knobbish.
Right.
No, going back to Mexico just quickly. Obviously, those two fighting in the championship. They're also fighting 2 weeks straight, right? You know how in America I mentioned how, when Verstappen pushed Norris off the track and Norris got the penalty. Well, this race, the opposite happened. And do you know why?
No.
Exactly what I said. Max pushed Norris wide, but this time Norris didn't overtake him off the track. He let Max just push him off and concede the position, and that got Max 2 10-second penalties.
I was happy with that.
I bet you were.
I didn't mind that one bit at all. That was totally Max Verstappen's fault right there, Matt.
It wasn't. The first one was definitely not his fault. Second one, yes, I can see it being his fault. After that, I think 20 seconds is too harsh for those.
Maybe the people just thought, Lando Norris didn't deserve the 5-second penalty the last race, so just make it a little bit even and give 5 seconds to
I'm telling you, FIA is on Norris's side this year. They're so biased, it's insane.
Come on.
They are.
They just want a new winner. You can't blame them, can you?
They had Hamilton for 7 years. Mercedes were winning 8 years straight, and they say, nah, we're going to keep them because they're British.
Right, fair enough.
The British bias is insane in this sport, I'm telling you.
No, I reckon we should speak about the Brazil Grand Prix then. And I want to start off with what's his name?
Lance Stroll. Oh my lord, this guy.
Honestly, what can we say? I'm lost for words.
I don't even know what you can say to that.
I'm speechless.
How are you an F1 driver at the highest level of motor racing, and you're that much of an idiot that you're going to spin off the track and drive yourself into the gravel? Honestly, it wasn't even the race. It was the formation lap. He's decided, I'm going to just take a little spin and I'm going to drive into the track and just not even bother to start.
And what makes it worse for me is it happened on lap 4. So early on in the race. Just why?
Formation lap.
It was a formation lap?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse then, isn't it?
He didn't even start the race.
He didn't even start the race. Never mind. Oh, forget that. That's worse than that 4. I can't believe that.
There was videos on TikTok and Twitter as well. The fans in the grandstand who watched it right but in front of him, they were all clapping and applauding as soon as he beached himself. So it's not just us who just don't like Lance Stroll. Everyone on this planet knows Lance Stroll does not deserve that seat anymore.
Why can't he? Why couldn't he just reversed? Instead of driving straight into the gravel,
That
just
is a good
reverse
question.
and go back round.
Or why isn't he just spinning to the right? He could have turned right and he would have been on the track again. But no, he's gone left.
I couldn't tell you. He needs to leave Aston Martin, doesn't he? I know his dad works for Aston Martin, or he's the owner of Aston Martin. But please, just for the sake of your team.
Yeah, for the sanity of the fans watching as well. Like, come on.
Oh man.
But speaking of him crashing out,
yeah,
we obviously had 5 other drivers crash out
a
during that
lot
race.
Of big drivers.
But it was rainy, so that's kind of understandable.
You had Hulkenberg, I'm pretty sure. You had who else? You had
Sainz crashed, Colapinto crashed,
yeah.
Albon crashed. There was so many people spinning that race. It just showed that the race in rain obviously shows who's the best drivers.
Yeah, it was the weather conditions, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's hard to drive in those sort of weather conditions. I understand that, but you know the best drivers, as you was going on to say, are key in this sort of type of race, aren't they?
And speaking of best drivers, obviously Max Verstappen, what a goat!
Oh come on!
What a goat! Come on, you cannot deny his performance that race.
I can't. He was fantastic.
He was incredible, going from 17th on the grid in the pouring rain. He got 10 positions up in the race on the first few laps.
Honestly,
you can't say he's bad.
How does he do that? Like,
because he's the GOAT.
No, but okay, I want some more analysis. You can't just say he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. We know this, right? Well, you know this. I think there's other people slightly a bit ahead of him. But how do you go from 17th to first, Matt?
Quite easily. Obviously, the rain, like I said, affects drivers in different ways.
Yeah.
Obviously, some are more attuned to driving in the rain, just like Max is. And some drivers struggle in the rain, like Norris. So, he's overtaken. He's taken his chance.
You have to throw that little dig in there.
I did have to. So, most of those drivers he overtook, they were struggling in the rain. And some of them, they don't have cars suited to wet weather either.
Yeah.
And obviously, those conditions, it was pretty much typhoon. Track was flooded in most places. And
Right.
Max is just that good in the rain. He managed to just get the positions. And there was also a red flag, or I think a red flag or a safety car that helped him a little bit. I think that was because of the Colapinto or Hulkenberg crash. And, you know, getting the restart right, Norris went off the track on the restart. Verstappen just flew away.
Yeah, because there was a bit of a controversial moment where I feel like Lando Norris sort of like started the race a little bit early because before the lights went green. I don't know if you saw that on the highlights.
Yeah, a little jump start.
That was a little jump start, yeah. So similar to Perez's last race. And didn't Perez crash as well, I'm pretty sure?
No, he didn't this race.
He didn't crash his race. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on the highlights. I feel like he did a little bit. Never mind.
It wouldn't be out of character, to be honest.
Yeah. Now I want to move on quickly because the two drivers for me that stand out the most, but the team that stand out the most was hopefully I'm saying this right, Alpine.
Yeah, Alpine. What a race from them this year. Well, this weekend. They've obviously been crap, if I do say so myself, this season.
Slightly rude.
Absolute tractor of a car. But I don't know what's happened. Maybe luck was just on their side in Brazil, and they got 2 and 3. Can't complain. That's decent points. I think I saw a stat saying they went from last place or near to bottom, and now they're in the contention for midfield. I think they're up to 6th.
Okay, that's really
interesting. Just from one weekend.
Because I know both Gasly and Esteban, I think that's their names. They had a fantastic weekend, and I also read a stat where they're the first team to get 35 points in Sao Paulo. So that's pretty interesting.
That doesn't seem real though. I feel like most teams have done well in Brazil and got more than that.
Oh really? Oh,
I don't know how that would be right, because obviously some teams might have had a 1-2 there, and that's just more than 35 points.
Oh. Well, I read that on the official F1 page, so I'm not sure.
Who knows? We got to trust the F1 page. I just feel like Mercedes might have done that when, I don't know, Russell won it. Maybe Hamilton came second.
He said 35 plus, so it might have been more. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? But they did well. That's all we need to know about. They did extremely well. They got more points for the team. They're higher up in the constructors, and they're doing well.
Yeah, they'll probably finish mid-table, middle in the pack. So you can't expect anything more from them.
6 isn't bad for them.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all know Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon don't like each other.
Oh yeah, they're not friends.
They really don't like each other.
They don't get on. But maybe they might do now. They might rekindle their friendship because they won together.
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, after the race, we saw on social media all the smiles, all the happiness.
Yeah, it's just for the cameras.
It's probably just for the cameras, let's be honest. Everyone behind closed doors will always talk behind someone's back or somewhere like that. I don't think those two will get on any more than they have the rest of the season. But obviously, they're going to bond over the fact that they got decent points for their team.
Yeah. I want to speak about how Norris finished 6th. How has he done this? Because I might have to agree with you. He slightly bottled it. I don't really like using that phrase on the people that I support, but it is true, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can't deny he bottled it, can you?
No, you can't.
He started pole. He finished 6th. He was 7th at one point. He trying to fight for drivers' championship. You can't be bottling it like that, man.
Yeah.
You had Verstappen, your title rival, 17th, and he's gone and taken first place, and you're back in 6th. You cannot tell me Norris is a championship-worthy driver.
It's not good enough, is it, really, for Norris?
It isn't. It's sloppy, and it's poor from him.
I want to throw out there, I think it was the weather conditions. That's all I'm going to say. That's one of my excuses.
Can't use that as an excuse.
Because 5 other drivers crashed out as well.
And there's 20 drivers on the grid, and 15 of them still finished.
When you put it like that, Matt.
And you cannot have 2 Alpines beating you. You just can't, especially when you're in a title fight and you're in the best car of the season.
And the likes of like Russell and other people like that.
Exactly. You just can't. You can't be down in 6th when your title rival has just won the race.
Yeah, because if we look at the points for a second, Verstappen is on 393 and Norris on 331.
Yeah, I don't think Norris is coming back from that. 3 races left.
It's too many points to catch up to, isn't it? You can't do that, can you?
I think it's he has to win the next 2.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of the next 3, and Verstappen has to DNF in 1 or 2 of them, which just isn't going to happen. Let's be real. Maybe.
We've got no chance.
There's a very small chance.
Nothing's impossible.
No, nothing's impossible. But who knows? Maybe Leclerc can come win it still. We don't know.
We don't want that.
It'd be funny.
If Leclerc wins it, what happens to Hamilton next year? Who knows?
He's still going there. Leclerc will just be the number 1.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I definitely do think Hamilton has won the driver's standing, but McLaren,
Hamilton has not won the driver's standing.
No, not Hamilton. I meant Verstappen. Sorry, Verstappen has won the drivers one. Sorry, but then McLaren has now won the drivers. The team one. I can't even speak. I always get them two mixed up. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. I don't mind McLaren having the constructors in their bag. I said before I like Oscar Piastri. I think he's a sound guy, pretty decent driver. Arguably better than Norris.
As long as he doesn't go to Red Bull, I'm happy.
There is talks of him going to Red Bull.
Is there?
His mentor is Mark Webber, and Mark Webber is a Red Bull driver and fan of Red Bull.
I don't want that.
We do want that. Imagine having Imagine having Piastri and Verstappen in a lineup. That'd be amazing.
And I've read a stat, right? Max Verstappen went 10 races without a win.
First since 2020.
First since 2020. That is a fantastic stat.
Going from last season as well, when he won 22 out of 23 races or something like that, and just getting 10 raceless wins. It
just shows now this season in F1, it just opened up more drivers that they can actually win. There's more competition now in the sport. That's what I was asking for last year, really, because I just felt like Red Bull and Max Verstappen were running away with it, which obviously it's good for Red Bull fans, but it was a bit boring for the neutrals. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm really happy now. A lot more teams have won this season.
Do you think next season could be even better though? More driver winnings, more teams winning. You know, maybe see the bottom teams start getting up there.
Well, who knows? Maybe Alpine, whatever you want to call it. They might be in there. I don't know.
And obviously
Ferrari.
And obviously Aston Martin have Adrian Newey now, so they're going to have a rocket ship of a car.
And after that disappointing performance from Lance Stroll, they've got to kick him out of the team.
They have
sooner
to.
rather than later.
They have to. If they don't get him gone by the end of this season, I don't know what they're going to possibly do. There's no way you can possibly keep him on for another season. I don't care if he's your son.
Yeah.
You've got to understand from a business point of view, he is wasting money on you. Well, you're wasting money on him even. And he's just not getting your points when you should be winning.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also, one of the highlights that I found interesting at the weekend, just to quickly mention it, was how Lewis Hamilton drove Senna's 1990 championship car. I thought that was pretty cool, to be honest. I like that little moment. He sort of, dreams sort of came true for Hamilton at that sort of point.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Because we all know Hamilton's idol with Senna. He's been growing up loving Senna, watching Senna. Obviously, he got his helmet a couple years ago after he equalled his record for 41 wins. And now he got to drive his car around Brazil. And, he obviously last year he became a Brazilian citizen. Okay, so it's just even more special for him just driving it around.
And also, I think Hamilton won his first race in Brazil, if I'm correct. Hopefully I'm correct.
No, he won his first championship in Brazil.
Championship,
so that's what makes it special.
Right. Well, either way, a very emotional moment for Hamilton, and also I was quite pleased to see the best ever Grand Prix driver achieve that.
Wow, I love how you've just said the best ever. Well, that is debatable now. That is highly debatable.
Okay, I don't know. Should we go
Some
into
would
that,
disagree.
or do you want to go into a quiz? Maybe I don't know.
No. I'll skip it. I'll skip over it.
Okay.
Go into the quiz. Otherwise, I will have another 10-minute rant saying why he isn't the greatest ever. He's just
Maybe
got the best stats.
We should save it for a separate podcast, maybe.
God, that would be a 40-minute episode if you did that.
Could you imagine?
That'd be long.
Well, for you, but
Very
it'd be
long.
like 2 hours long for you if you did that.
Anyway, take us into the quiz section of our game.
Yeah. So I've got just 5 quick questions here. It shouldn't be too long, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. It's more of a general knowledge sort of F1 quiz, really. So kicking off with the first question, Matt. This should be easy, you know, play along in the comments, write it down in the comments and YouTube comments and whatnot. So first question, what year did F1 begin, Matt? Come on then.
Is this my... I know we were talking about this earlier. This is my, understanding. Is it when F1 was official? Or was it the first ever Grand Prix race? Because you got this wrong when we were off-scene.
I don't think I was wrong. I read this online, Matt. I can't be wrong if I got it offline.
Well, if I know you, if you got it off Google...
Whoa. What do you mean by that?
Is it 1906?
No.
So then it's 1944.
You're heating up a little bit, Matt, but you're like a few years off. You're definitely heating up.
Is it in the 50s?
It's in the 50s.
So 56?
It's a bit low.
54?
No, lower.
50...
1950, Matt. Well done. You got it right. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you got it right.
There you go. You got it right. Second question, a lot easier. Here we are. Which driver has won the most championships?
Well, it's 2 tied, isn't it? It's Schumacher Hamilton.
Okay, but who do you think's won the most championships, Matt?
Again, it's tied.
So
It's 7-all. If you say Hamilton's got 8, I will run out this room, I swear.
give me one answer, please.
Schumacher.
You got to lock in one answer.
Schumacher.
Wrong. Lewis Hamilton.
They both have 7. They both have 7. Where are you getting
Where am I
these
getting
stats
these
from?
questions from? Oh my god,
They
these
both
questions
have
are
7.
so bad. Okay.
What was your answer? Seriously, did you not have Schumacher as...
No,
How many do you think
I
you had?
Hamilton and I had Hamilton.
You only had Hamilton. How many do you think Schumacher had?
Look, I didn't know they was tied. All right, don't do this to me. We've already got one. We've already got one viral Schumacher clip. I don't want a second one.
I've got to put you on the
Okay.
spot. How did you
Okay.
not realise Schumacher had 7?
I didn't know they was both tied. I forgot about that. I'm not going to be completely honest with you. Okay, third question. Hopefully it's better than the first 2. So a bit on a downer, a bit of a sad note on this question here. So, what year did Senna tragically die in a Formula 1 race?
94.
1994.
Everyone knows that.
There we go.
Everyone knows that.
We finally got a question right. And
I got the last one
I got it right
I
as
got
well.
Schumacher right.
I got it. Well,
I've got 2 out of 3.
Well,
Actually, no, I got 3 out of 3 because I got the first one right as well.
back in oh yeah, you did.
So I
Back
got
in
all
the
3.
studio, it said you got them wrong, but fine. Number 4, this might be a bit difficult. I've never heard of this guy in my life, but this might be the worst question on here. Who was nicknamed the Flying Finn in the 1980s and
Mika
1990s? Sorry?
Mika Hakkinen. That's easy.
Say again?
Hakkinen.
No, that's wrong. Nico Hakkinen.
Mika Hakkinen.
The Flying Finn. That's not alright. That's what I've got here. That's wrong.
It's Hakkinen or it's... What's it? What's his face? He's in my face.
He's in your face.
Raikkonen.
No.
Tell me then.
It's a guy called Keke Rosberg or Kiki Rosberg.
He was not called the Flying Finn.
That's what they're saying. So you got 3 out of 4 at the moment, Matt.
How was Keke Rosberg finish?
I don't know. I could not tell you. Anyway, do you want the last question? Before we
Go on, then.
before we end it off.
These questions have been terrible, by the way. I'm telling you now, these questions have been awful.
Yeah, these questions are bad. I didn't realise. Okay, it's just what I found. Okay, last question. 5 out of 5. Well, 4 out of 5 maybe. I think you got 1 wrong. Which team did Alonso drive for when he won his first 2 championships?
Renault. Easy.
There
Smash
we go.
that.
There we go. Easy. Renault. Look, you didn't even have to think about that one. That was pretty simple from you. Happy with that?
I'm going to fact check your 4th question about Flying Finn.
Mate, you might have to.
I'm a fact check, and after the end of this video, if I'm going to go on social media and say I got all of them right, I'm going to make sure I did that. Because I don't think I'm wrong.
That's fine with me, Matt. Look, from what I've researched, I've got them all right. So don't blame me, blame the researchers. / Google.
I'm blaming you as well because you found these questions.
Yeah. Okay then. Is that a wrap? Should we call the episode there?
Yeah, well, that is the end of the episode. Obviously, 3 more races left of the season. Max is probably going to win it. McLaren are probably going to win it. Not much else to say than that, is there?
I'm just hoping somehow Norris can come back and beat Max Verstappen. But
he won't.
Obviously, I'm living in dreamland. But otherwise, we'll wait until next year, Matt.
We will. And we'll be right, and we'll see Max Verstappen win another one.
Debatable.
But anyway, that is all from us. Goodbye.